Hello, this is Kirill from forexbout.com and welcome back to the course on Forex trading. Today is going to be a very exciting tutorial because we're going to be talking about Fibonacci numbers and they involve a lot of mystery and we're going to have a lot of fun. And I can't wait to jump straight into it. However, before we do proceed, I'd like to ask you to leave a review for this course. I know I've already asked previously, and if you have left a review, then thank you very much. But if you haven't left a review, I would really appreciate it if you could spend less than a minute of your time to just quickly review and rate this course. It can be done very simply. You just have to, on the course page, click this button up here, write a review. Then you just select the number of stars you think the course deserves and type in a review if you want to. If you don't, you just select the number of stars, click add a review, and that's it. It would really help me out, and it would also assist other students in understanding whether this course is worth their while before taking it. So I hope you can do that, and now let's proceed back to the course. So, Fibonacci levels. So who is this person Fibonacci? Well, the real name of Fibonacci is actually Leonardo of Pisa. Fibonacci is kind of a nickname which he got, and most likely it meant a good son was born. He lived in the 13th century, and he's most famous for his Fibonacci sequence. So what is this Fibonacci sequence? Well, let's imagine a sequence of numbers which starts with the number 1. The second number is also 1. And then going forward, every next number is equal to the sum of the previous two. So the next number in this case would be a 2. The next number after that would be a 3, because 1 plus 2 is 3. The next number, 2 plus 3, is 5. The next number after that is an 8. I'll let you guess what the next number would be. That's right, the next number is 13. And so on, just keeps going forever. So what's so great about this Fibonacci sequence that makes it famous? Well, I'll show you right now. Let's quickly plot the number 1 and number 2 on a horizontal axis. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go through the sequence and take every number of the sequence and divide it by the previous number in the sequence and plot our answer on the same axis. So 1 divided by 1 is equal to 1. We've plotted it with an orange cross. Now let's divide 2 by 1 and we get 2. 3 divided by 2 is 1.5. 5 divided by 3 is 1.666. 8 divided by 5 is 1.6. 13 divided by 8 is 1.625. 21 divided by 13 is 1.615. So you kind of see where this is going. The crosses are getting closer and closer to one specific certain number. And that number is 1.6180339, and so on. And this number is known as the golden ratio, which is usually represented by the Greek letter phi. Phi is equal to approximately 1.618. Alright, so by now you're saying, Kirill, you're boring me with all this math. What's the purpose? What's the point? Well, let's have a look at some of the examples of where you can find the golden ratio that will probably blow your mind. First of all, if you measure the distance between the edge of your fingertips and your wrist, and then you measure the distance between your wrist and your elbow, it will be approximately 1.618. Go ahead, pause this video and give it a go. You'll be surprised at how accurate this is. Next, your fingers actually, your phalanges on your fingers actually are in the same ratio as the Fibonacci numbers, so 2, 3, 5, 8. If you don't believe this picture, then here's an actual X-ray. Also, if you take any starfish and you measure its base and take it as a 1, then the distance between these two limbs will be 1.618. Now, if we want to get even to more depth, then we'll take the Fibonacci spiral, and you can read about it separately, but it's basically constructed of Fibonacci numbers. And you can find the Fibonacci spiral in many, many places in the world. For example, a lot of shells follow the same pattern as the Fibonacci spiral. Some galaxies, not all of them, but some spiral galaxies also follow the golden spiral pattern. So it kind of makes you wonder, how come the Fibonacci ratio can be seen in so many parts of nature? Let's take one more example. Let's take the human DNA. And if we measure its width and its length, then they will be exactly 21 angstrom and 34 angstrom, where angstrom is a unit of measurement for various little things. And if you recall, 21 and 34 are actually in our Fibonacci sequence. A coincidence? Maybe. But that's quite a lot of coincidences. And moreover, what's not a coincidence is that there have been experiments that have proven that figures and patterns following the Fibonacci ratio are much more appealing to the human eye than those which do not. So there definitely is some sort of mystery around the Fibonacci numbers, and nobody knows exactly why they're so common in nature and in the world. But what we can do is maybe take advantage of it, including in trading. So what traders and analysts did, well, they said if the Fibonacci numbers are in our DNA, and if they're more appealing to the human eye, and if they're all over nature, let's have a look and see if we can actually find them on Forex charts. So let's see what they found. If this is a just a random Forex chart, then very often you'll find that if you measure the distance of your trend, so the main part, the upward part, and then take it as 1 unit, and then you measure the distance that the price traveled during the retracement phase, you will often notice that the retracement is equal to 0.618 units. Now the best part is that if you divide 1 by the golden ratio, you will get 0.618. So this basically means that if you take your original trend as 1.618, then your retracement will be 1. So basically, you see the golden ratio here. We'll just return back to 0.618, which is the inverted golden ratio. So how can you use this in your trading? Well, let's assume that we don't know any of that. We know that there's been a trend and we can see a retracement is starting. Well, now knowing about the golden ratio, we can predict that with a good chance, the retracement is actually going to go just exactly up to that 0.618 level. And that means we can enter into a sell order somewhere over there, and we can enter into a buy order once the retracement has completed, knowing that there's a high chance that from here on the trend will continue. So that's all theory, but let's have a look at a live example. This is the euro-dollar 4-hourly chart, which I took a snapshot of yesterday. As you can see here, we've got a downward trend first of all, and then we've got a bit of a retracement. So how about we go ahead and measure them? So the downward trend started up here, then the price went down a bit slower, went down fast, went down a bit, went actually up again, went down, and that was the end of the trend for now. Then the price started moving back up, went down a bit, and then went back up. So we're going to measure the distances between those 3 points. And those lines indicate where our measurements will be. So if we take the original trend, and we take it as 1 unit, then you will notice, and you can take a ruler and measure this on your screen if you like, or even open up the same chart and perform those measurements, you'll notice that the retracement was exactly 0.618. And I didn't have to look for this example. This was the first chart I opened up, euro-dollar 4-hourly time frame, January 2015. You can scroll through any chart you like, and sooner or later, actually sooner rather than later, you'll find one of these examples. So the golden ratio is very powerful, not only in nature, but also in our Forex trading, and we can use it to our advantage. And you will see examples of this in our live Forex trading further down in this course. By the way, if you're using MetaTrader 4, there's a very handy way to measure these retracements. If you go to insert Fibonacci retracement, you'll get a very handy tool which allows you to effortlessly measure Fibonacci retracements. On that note, we'll finish up today's tutorial. Please do leave a review if you haven't yet. I would really appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Until then, happy trading.